Well, for more, we're joined now by Imene Trabelsi, who is Near and Middle East Spokesperson for the International Committee of the Red Cross. Thank you very much indeed for your time today. We were hearing from some of the teams of the local Red Crescent Society in Libya from our correspondent just then. How are you able to coordinate with the Red Crescent Societies there on the ground, and what's the latest that they've been communicating to you about the current situation in Derna?
Thank you, Paul. Since the first day that followed the catastrophe, we've been working closely with the Libyan Red Crescent and the local authorities in order to sustain most urgent needs. And to be honest, the easiest way or the simplest way to describe those needs is that they are massive and that they are growing by the minute. We work in Libya in close collaboration and partnership with the Libyan Red Crescent, and this goes beyond this catastrophe. Our presence and operation are run with close collaboration with the Libyan Red Crescent. As we're speaking, the needs among society, the affected population, they start from the very little things: food, blankets, proper shelter, access to water, electricity, telecommunication, etc. The local authorities as well, they do require further support and on the matter of the crisis management, including the management of the dead. We've been providing assistance in terms of food, medicines, basic equipment for the affected families, and we are planning to send more aid into the affected region in the upcoming period. More further assistance has been deployed and channeled from our warehouses, either in Benghazi or from Geneva, in order to provide more assistance. But to be honest, the main challenge that most of the aid operators, aid organizations are facing right now is the fact that the vital infrastructure, namely roads and bridges, was terribly affected by the flooding, which makes the process of channeling fast further assistance quite complicated for all actors involved in this process.
So a massive and growing need, an incredibly difficult situation on the ground with the infrastructure so damaged. Is there a clearer picture building up of the extent of the emergency and how many people need urgent help?
It's very hard to determine exact numbers as we're speaking. The first response and the urgent response is still ongoing, and therefore numbers of the dead, the injured is still growing. It's very hard to determine. We're speaking about thousands of dead so far. The number of affected, directly affected or indirectly affected families and population is also very hard to determine at this stage. There are some figures from the UN saying that at least as we're speaking, there is at least 10,000 people are deemed missing, but these numbers are very primary. It's a very early stage to determine, taking the state of emergency and the state of high uncertainty that the population are facing right now. The operation of retrieving bodies is still happening. There is an additional risk of the spread of unexploded devices due to the fact that Derna was considered as one of the areas suffering from a high contamination in terms of unexploded devices, and that is due to the conflict, but also to previous conflicts as well. So what happened today is that the flooding have moved some of these devices probably to areas that were considered as uncontaminated in previous times, and therefore this will cause a risk and a challenge for the ongoing rescue operations, but it will also consider a high risk and a high challenge on the longer run, as it might jeopardize the rehabilitation and people's ability to go back to their lives, to their homes, and to rebuild their lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly wishing your teams there all the very best of luck with this incredibly important and difficult work. That's Imene Trabelsi from the International Committee of the Red Cross. Many thanks indeed for joining us today.